Shrek. I'm here to represent the proposition this House ought to abolish the United States Constitution. Thank you so much. Would you please raise your hand if you are a white man who also owns property? Under the original terms of this document, you are the only people in this room who are considered citizens. How would the rest of you feel if they went into another room and made all the rules for the rest of us? Judges, this brings me to my next point. The dead should not govern the living. Thomas Jefferson himself said we should write a new constitution for every generation. We should not be living by the laws of corpses. The framers have been in their graves for over 200 years. They lived in a world without electricity, without indoor plumbing. They took like 2 baths a year. George Washington died because he had a cold and decided to treat it with bloodletting. We should look at the world with our own eyes, decide what you and I believe to be right and wrong, not go back 10 generations to figure out what Alexander Hamilton would have done. It is as if we are being ruled by zombies. And zombie law! Thank you!
Hello, judges. My name is Thursday Williams, and I'm the first opposition speaker to the motion that we should abolish the United States Constitution. Judges, my opponent states she's going to make an all-new constitution, but let me ask you this. Who gets to make this new perfect utopian constitution? Will kids be involved? Would you let me go into another room and decide all the rules for all of you? No, you wouldn't. Let's be honest. This new constitution will be made by politicians, and since the Senate, which plays a major role in the approval process, is still made up of mostly old white men, what are the chances that they'll write a better constitution? I'll tell you what they are. About 10 million to 1. About the same chance that the actual zombies from The Walking Dead will take over our planet. We have the oldest active constitution in the world. My opponent, thank you, she wants you to think that this is a bad thing, but the reason it has lasted so long is because it gives we the people the tools we need to free ourselves from tyranny, and we need these tools right now. It is undeniable that America is more equal, more democratic than it was 230 years ago. Judges, the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass had reason to hate this document than most Americans. And yet, he supported it because it, quote, contained a means to mount a critique of slavery from within, end quote. We will not erase the sins of our history by simply tossing out a piece of paper, especially when this piece of paper is capable of shining a light into our own blind spots. Thank you.
Abolish! You have 1 minute for rebuttal.
Judges, my opponent argues that our country is more equal, more democratic than it was 230 years ago, and obviously I agree with her. However, that is a very low bar. Also, we are no longer considered a full democracy. That's right, in 2017, we were demoted by the International Democracy Index. We now fall below countries like Spain, Mauritius, and Uruguay. This is because voter suppression is rampant and was basically just endorsed by our Supreme Court because 2 of our presidents in the past 20 years did not win the popular vote, because 9 unelected people have decision-making power over our fundamental human rights, because the Electoral College is an impediment to democracy, and because every single day in this country, this Constitution fails to protect the lives of people of color, LGBTQIA folks, immigrants, indigenous peoples, people with disabilities, women. Thank you.
Keep your 30 seconds to cross-examine.
Where do you think we would land on the Democratic Index if we abolish our Constitution, let's say, tomorrow?
Okay, I don't know about tomorrow.
The thing is, though, Heidi, at the rate that we're going, don't you think that will be lower than we are now?
I think that's possible, but I think at the rate we are going, we have to do something radical or we are definitely going to hit bottom.
Let's say we start writing this new constitution. What is to stop private lobbying organizations like the NRA from using their money to influence the making of this new document?
That is a terrific question, and I actually think
be in the preamble.
I disagree with you.
I don't think this will hold us together.
I don't think this is what
Would you say that my
third?
I don't recognize all our answers to
props. She's using props.
Judges, if we abolish the Constitution, we risk sending our country into complete chaos. Our country is more divided than it has ever been. thing. The only thing holding us together as Americans right now is the faith in this document. We may choose to interpret it differently, but without it, we risk complete collapse. If we abolish the Constitution tomorrow, here's what will happen. Same-sex marriage would be illegal in 14 states. Abortion would be illegal in 30 states. Segregation would technically be legal in 32 states. Judges, Abraham Lincoln said the people should not overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who abuse it. Thank you.
Abolish! You have 30 seconds to cross-examine.
Reproductive rights have been rolled back over 200 times since you were born. They were basically just eliminated in 3 states, which means that you now have less rights than I had when I was your age.
Fewer. I have fewer rights. Oh my God, I'm sorry, but Jesus.
Yes! Exactly! You are making my point! You have fewer rights than I had when I was your age. So how can you say that this Constitution is working for us?
Well, Heidi, the Constitution gives us the tools we need to fight for these rights. It gives us the right to free speech, the right to protest. We can even pass amendments.
Time!
This is the time when we should be holding this document close to us. Thank you.
Judges, as a kid, I believed this document was a tool of justice. I knew it was created by slaveholders, by people who did not consider most of us fully human. But I believed in its genius and I believed in its ability to transform over time. Today, however, I don't think the Constitution is broken. I don't think it's failing. I think our Constitution is working perfectly. I think it's doing exactly what it was designed to do from the beginning, which is to protect the interests of a small number of rich white men. I believe we need a brand new positive rights Constitution that actively rectifies the inequality at the heart of this country. I believe we need a Constitution with human rights enshrined from the beginning. Why? Why should most of us be banished to the margins of this Constitution? Why should we be on page 30, on page 34? Or you know what? Not even in this document at all because we're kids. We all belong in the preamble. Thank you.
Judges, my opponent wants to endanger our lives for the sake of some utopian document that hasn't even been written yet. She has a logic for this thought experiment. Most other people do not. It is going to be my generation, my community. We will have to be the guinea pigs for this grand experiment. It is my future she wants to put at risk, and I'm not going to stand for that. Throwing out the Constitution doesn't mean that we'll be throwing out issues like sexism or racism. It will be at best a superficial change. If you want to change your country, you need to wake up, get involved, go vote, put pressure on your local representatives, protest. Matter of fact, no. Let's do it ourselves. Let's run for local office. Let's run for student government. Let's be the change that we desire. Let's start with our own personal constitution and build our way out. Thank you.